Thought I'd take a couple minutes to show you the camp I got set up today. I am on the Lappaha River in southern Georgia. Got a couple fishing poles out there, a couple small bluegill and catfish, but nothing really big. Here's my Eagle's Nest Outfitters double nest hammock with a Guardian bug net, and of course the ever popular whoopee slings, snake skins, and polyester 1-inch strap tree huggers. I like the bug net because it's fully encapsulating. It does weigh a little more and it does stretch the limits of the snake skins, but if you do it right, take your time, it fits right in there. Got a dry sack hanging from the other foot end of the whoopies, and it's pretty easy to see the bug net is simply tied onto the berry of the whoopee slings. Carbon fiber toggles, free of charge from your local archery shop. Thanks, guys. Light as a feather. I tied some light cord to it, so if I do drop it in the dark sticks, I can find it. A little blue and white, maybe a 2mm line that came with the bug net. So overall, a very good system. I'm very happy with it. Pretty dark. A couple weeks back, a boat went right up the river, didn't even look at me. Don't think they saw me. Probably because of all this Spanish moss hanging in the way, which is fine by me. One of the little tricks I've done on the head end of my hammock is when I pull out of the bag, I don't always grab the head end. So what I've done is put a very lightweight, non-load bearing red carabiner to distinguish head from foot. Makes it easier when you unpack it. When you stuff it inside the snake skins, it all looks the same. So it makes things a little easier when you're setting up camp. Now the ridgeline on my hammock supports the bug net, and I have a mini flashlight, pair of shades, and sometimes I hang my hat up there as well. You can put a ridgeline organizer on it. Mine I have clem heisted to the whoopee slings direct with a diamond knot on the end, and the parachute cord I used for a ridgeline simply goes into the back side of that diamond knot, and that's what they call a girth knot. Goes down to the other end, and it's identical on the other end. The good thing about the clem heist is it is very easy to push it one way, and it is by design supposed to cinch down and prevent movement the other way. A few small sticks, about an 1/8 inch in diameter, wrapped up with the fuzz from underneath the palmetto tree. Works rather well. I've got my 12cm Imusa pot, aka zombie pot, ready to go on the fire with a little ramen. And I got some dehydrated onions, red peppers, and a few black beans mixed in there for extra. One thing I've noticed on this 12cm pot, you have to keep fire underneath it and let the water boil, because sitting it on coals of softwood just doesn't cut it. Doesn't transfer the heat enough. If you had hardwood underneath there, it might be a different story, but get a little airflow underneath there and things make life a lot easier. Now normally I carry a little bit of food in my bag. Here we have some coffee, some Starbucks, Taster's Choice, you name it, it's in there. Nothing like coffee from the hammock, right, Shug? And got some dehydrated onions. Love the smell of onions when they're dehydrating. Lipton onion soup mix. That's some good stuff right there. A couple packets of Quaker Oats. And right here I have 4 small pancakes in powder form ready to go. Add a couple tablespoons of water and knead it in a bag, cut the corner and squeeze it right in the pan. And I got some Louisiana style baked beans. Got some peas and Mr. Spider. We don't eat spiders. Seriously, go away. Okay, getting back to the peas. These do take a while to rehydrate, so they normally go in first. Again, the red and green peppers, good stuff. Corn. Corn's very quick. Corn rehydrates very quick, and it tastes very good. It has a lot of protein, a lot of fiber to all your meals. I normally keep a staple food of ramen noodles, maybe a pouch of tuna, and some Knorr's pasta recipes. They're always good. And throw it in the 12-centimeter pot. And it's starting to boil in there a little bit, starting to foam up a little. Thank you, Tinny, for the lid. Outstanding piece of craftsmanship. minibowldesigns.com. Pretty darn cheap, too. 12 cm pot, also from Tinny. Alright, so as you can see, we're at a slow rolling boil. Anything other than water, like a soup or anything on the bottom, it's going to scald your pot a little easier. So you want to take soups and sauces a little slower than you would than boiling normal water. I guess it's the water tension on the air bubbles. It scalds the aluminum a little more than when you have just plain water in there. It's going pretty good. I'm going to let it sit for another minute or so. I'm going to take it off and have some chow. As I mentioned before, I only caught a couple bluegill. Nothing big. Pretty slow day of fishing, so I'm sure it'll pick up once I start eating. Foster's pot, Mini Bowl Designs rubber ring. It's a wristband. About 10 feet of wick on there. Maybe 6. I think I still have some left over. I may do another project. A little cozy for the Foster's can. Fits in there rather nice. Made out of some mailroom Reflectix cozy. The Trangia stove, I like this one because yes, it weighs 7 ounces. Oh well. It holds fuel. I don't have to worry about it leaking out. And if I need to carry more than 4 ounces, I can. A DIY pot stand for the Trangia. And here's another one that I use for the Imusa pot. It stands out a little wider, bigger in diameter. A scrubby lighter, of course a fork, gotta eat your food. And the Reflectix Cozy for the 12 cm pot, aka zombie pot. And it all fits nicely inside this Cub Cadet bag. Lightweight, weighs a few ounces, if that. And that's the whole complete kit. If you noticed earlier, I had a lot of soot on the bottom of the pot from the campfire. I just scrubbed it off with this little scratch piece of Brillo pad. Works very nice. Now, I did wash this in the river, so when I take it home, it's going to go straight in the dishwasher, along with this guy. Anything that's going to touch food or has touched food gets washed. And if you look in the bottom there, earlier I was talking about the scalding of the pot. I've made a lot of ramen noodle in this pot, and it's starting to get a little stained. So regular water doesn't really do it as much. In fact, in my little kit, I also have, if you remember, the Foster's pot. That has a plastic lining on the inside. When I make coffee for this pot, this is a new pot. I've only had coffee in this twice. This particular ring from Mini Bowl Designs, once again, there's a plastic liner inside that Foster's can. If you boil anything but water in there, it may scald that and melt that plastic liner. It may flake off, get in your digestive tract, and it's bad stuff. But for the most part, that plastic liner there is from the factory. Keep the beer from interacting with the aluminum. But when we make it, we make sure we just boil water in it only, and then add your coffee. Now this whole cook kit sits inside the big pot here. Put that in there. Lighter goes in as well. Doing this single-handed. So bear with me if the camera's shaking a little bit. Do need to get a tripod. The cotton bandana comes in handy for when you grab the handle of your pot. Cotton works great because it doesn't melt. the lid, and the reflective cozy top. Complete one zombie pot kit. Ugly, right? I know. One thing I did forget to mention is the One Egg Wonder pan. It's around 5-inch diameter. Perfect for a couple of eggs, small pancakes. I've used this 5 or 6 times. It's great for the Trangia stove or just a plain old campfire. It does scrub off rather well. Doesn't really fit in that bag, but I have something on my neck, and bear with me. Okay, just a tarantula. Anyway, this is a nice little kit. It's pretty versatile. I can make eggs, bacon, sausage, pancakes, you name it, in this little kit. The whole thing is about 12 ounces, I guess. I'll get the house and I'll weigh it for you if you really got to know, but it's not that light at all. In fact, my Optimus Crux stove weighs a little over 11 ounces, so for the adaptability of this kit and the fuel consumption, low fuel consumption of the Crux, Optimus Crux stove and the Optimus Terra Weekender set, you can't go wrong with either one. Today I didn't want a whole bunch of noise in the woods, so I just kind of brought this one because I knew I wanted to have a nice little quiet day out. But I'm fixing to pack up, put everything in my bag, get the hammock put away, throw it in my Camelback mother load backpack, and hike on out of here.